Good morning! By a show of hands, who here could use an extra $1,000 or two of monthly income? If your hand did not go up, why not collect the money anyway and give it to charity? By a show of hands, who here could use an extra 5 or 10 hours a week to spend with their family, friends, or simply me time? If your hand didn't go up because you're unemployed, well, refer to my last question. And by a show of hands, who here would like to create more passion in their personal, intimate relationship? As the AT&T commercial with the little kids so well pointed out, more is better. Now, who here thinks this morning, I may try and sell you something? I will not let you down. Actually, I'm not going to try and sell you anything. Oh, I'm going to sell you something. I am. I'm going to sell you on doing the things that you know you should be doing. I'm going to sell you on taking the actions that you know you're supposed to take. I'm going to sell you on living the life that you were designed to live. I'm going to sell you on having everything you ever wanted. In addition, I'm also going to be giving away thousands of dollars worth of transformative training materials, books, tapes, and who knows, maybe in a $5,000 one-on-one training session with me. Now, who wants to win? Put them up and say, oh yeah! Keep them up nice and high. If your hand isn't up right now and you win, I promise you, I will not give you anything. No, I mean it. I mean, if this is too much energy to put out on your own behalf, quite frankly, your life is already guaranteed to suck. Yes, absolutely. I don't blame you for sneaking your hand up late. I would have done the same thing. Go ahead and drop your hands down. I'm so grateful to be with you today. I'm so very excited because I know what the next hour is going to mean in your life. You are going to experience a light bulb moment. An epiphany where the fog clears and your life is going to make more sense than it ever has before. You will understand where you are now and why you got there and what you need to do to get to where you want to go. Who here has seen Jennifer Aniston's movie Love Happens? Aaron Eckert and asked his class what they see standing outside a downtown Seattle building. They answer smelly trash, honking cars, and homeless people. He then leads them up to the rooftop of the skyscraper that they were just standing outside of and asks, now what do you see? They see boundless oceans, snow-capped Mount Rainier, and inspirational sunsets. Now, although the beauty has always been there, they simply needed a new perspective to experience it, to see it. Now, how many of you have ever seen an amazing hypnotism show and wondered if it were real? Well, they are real, and it is amazing. I remember my first experience with the hypnotic show. I was a production supervisor with Unilever. We were at the annual Christmas gala at the historic Biltmore Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. The entertainer, a hypnotist, called me up to volunteer. I went up on stage and was selected for the show. It was the weirdest thing because while on stage, I really wasn't quite sure what was going on. It had my brain racing. I really wasn't sure if hypnotism was real or not. I do remember he gave me a suggestion that when he said the word rock star, I would jump out of my seat, go to the front of the stage, see my favorite singer, and scream like a lunatic. Now, keep in mind that all of management was at this party. These weren't just my coworkers, but my boss and all the executives as well. Now, I wasn't about to make a fool of myself in front of my boss and jeopardize a promotion, so I remember sitting there on stage thinking, how do I get myself out of this? There was just no way I was going to embarrass myself. And yet, the weirdest thing happened. He said the word rock star, and it was almost like a magnet pulled me up out of my seat. The whole time I'm being pulled to the front of the stage, and I'm thinking, I don't have to do this. And yet, there I was, screaming Madonna like a madman. It was the weirdest thing. It's really strange. After that, I remember wondering, was I really hypnotized, or was I simply doing what the hypnotist told me to do? And I thought about it. What if you told me to stop smoking? And I just did it. What if you told me to lose weight? And I just did it. What if you told me to go out and be a millionaire? And because he said I could, I believed I would, should I just do it now? I realized in that moment that if this were hypnosis, which it is, then this is a very powerful, powerful, powerful process. Now, how many of you would love it if you got out of your head long enough to do the things that you know you should do to get what you want? How many of you would want me to give you that gift this morning? How many of you would like to get as much as possible out of our time together this morning? Now, I want that for you. I do. Zig Ziglar taught that we can get everything we want if we simply help enough other people get what they want. I want to help you get as much as possible out of our time together. I want us to journey together. For most of you in this room, this is going to be the beginning of a lifetime relationship between us. I promise you, once I explain how you can get your brain to operate more efficiently, more powerfully, once you understand how to achieve wealth more easily and readily without all the struggle, once I show you how to get all the old programs that aren't working out of your head and plug in the stuff that does, you'll want to hang out with me for life. I'm positive of that. Now, there may be a couple people in the room that I'm simply not your cup of tea. I may not be the right guy to train you. It's possible, not likely, and yet anything's possible. The truth is, I want to make sure that you get as much as you possibly can with our time together here. So for those of you that are still with me, I want you to take out a sheet of paper and across the top, I want you to write these words. Do it now. Do it now. Why? Because tomorrow never comes. By a show of hands, who here has children? Who here has seen the movie Kung Fu Panda? Po the Panda is taught, yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. You see, what you don't do now simply does not get done. Do it now. When? Yes, you're awesome. Now, during the course of our time together, I want you to understand I'm a product of the product. I'm not simply up here standing on the platform teaching what I've learned. I teach the stuff that I live. And the reason I teach this stuff, as you'll soon realize, is it transformed my life. And I want to help you transform your life. Despite reports telling us that unemployment is falling and the economy is getting better, the sad fact remains that, according to the U.S. Census, 21.8%, one out of every 5 Americans, one out of every 5 children living in America is now living below the poverty line. Indeed, in the past 5 years, the number of Americans living in poverty has risen 20% to 50 million Americans. Now, we Americans we're a resourceful people. We always find ways to survive. Even our homeless are better off than the citizens of many other countries. I should know firsthand. I mean, I've lived overseas and I've been homeless. When I was 10, I earned spending money mowing lawns and raking leaves of the neighbors. And I had my first newspaper route at age 12. At age 15, I was a groundskeeper. And at 17, I joined the Air Force and became financially independent from my parents. After 9 years of active duty, I sought the riches of corporate America and worked for Unilever for 5 years until I was unexpectedly downsized. And then I worked for AT&T for another 5 years when I was unexpectedly downsized again. Now, losing my job like that, it really played havoc with my psyche. I I felt like a failure, and that's when I met Tracy. Here was this attractive woman, well put together and well educated, paying attention to me at a time that I needed it. Have you ever heard stories of elderly people being conned out of their life savings? And have you ever wondered how people can be so gullible? Well, I'm ashamed to admit it, but now I know. I mean, that attractive woman I mentioned, she turned out to be an attractive con artist. And by the time she was done with me, she had cleaned me out of my life savings, my IRA accounts, and most importantly, my future family's security. I mean, we're talking the tune of $200,000. I was left penniless, and actually, penniless would be a step up. I still had to deal with $85,000 in IRS early withdrawal penalties and from my retirement accounts. Now, while homeless, I thought about food a lot. I mean, where my next meal was coming from, and I'd often visit the food courts, pretending to clean up tables. I'd pick up trays and take them away, and then I'd enjoy the leftovers. The worst part about being homeless was hiding my status with my friends. I mean, if we'd go out to eat, I'd pretend I'd already eaten, or I just wasn't hungry, so I wouldn't have to order anything else. If we went out on an activity that cost money, I'd have to make up excuses on why I wouldn't be able to go. For months, I had this excruciating toothache, and I couldn't handle it anymore. Finally, I went to a dentist who offered x-rays, examining, and cleaning for $25. He told me I needed a root canal to the tune of $500. It may as well have been $5 million. I lost that tooth. I couldn't believe I wasn't even able to take care of my own health. Now, despite a deep ingrained desire to be self-sufficient, I once was persuaded to ask help from my family. I remember calling a well-to-do uncle of mine, and oh, how I dreaded that call. I remember asking him to borrow money. I remember thinking, how could I fall so far? I remember thinking, how could I stoop so low? I remember him telling me he wouldn't help me. I remember telling him thanks anyway, and I remember I hurt. That's about when I saw an advertisement for a slasher used car event. I camped out for a week in front of the dealership to ensure I was first in line. It totally paid off. I was able to pick up a black Chevy S10 with a mini truck with a topper on the back for only $88. I mean, it was actually pretty comfortable. I was able to sleep safely in the back, and I even had a little 4-inch black and white television. I used to watch MASH late at night. Sometimes I'd park at the beach and get serenaded to sleep by the crashing waves. It wasn't that bad. Still, times are much better now based on what I'm about to share with you, utilizing the skills and the programs and lessons and the strategies that you're about to get right now. My whole life is transformed, and yours can too. I'm proud to share that now I have an amazing wife, Lulu. We have 2 amazing princesses, ages 6 and 8. Both were students of the month. We have no debt, and we own our own home and cars free and clear. Now, they may not be the fanciest and most expensive homes and rides, but they're paid off, and I may not exactly have millions in my bank account yet, but we live comfortably, and as I learned from Harv Eker, I know that it's simply a matter of time before those millions are deposited into my account. See, Madonna, she was a self-made millionaire. Her mother died when she was just 5 years old. Her stepmother then forced her to take care of the younger children in the family. She is quoted as saying, "I really saw myself as the quintessential Cinderella." Her hard work as a straight-A student and cheerleader led to a dancing scholarship at the University of Michigan, where she dropped out after 2 years to pursue her career. Now, struggling to pay her rent, she worked in a handful of odd jobs, including nude modeling. The rest, as they say, is history. Obviously, she's a millionaire now, and I choose to believe that she's the same person now as she was when she was struggling to pay her rent. Even back then, she knew she was going to conquer the world. It was simply a matter of time. More importantly now, I know it's simply a matter of time for my millions to be deposited. Meanwhile, I'm cherishing the journey. Who's with me? See, I know my children are being programmed so they can make their own millions. An old Chinese proverb reveals, give a man a fish and he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. Lexus, my 8-year-old, recently bought a trinket for $10 and sold it to a friend of hers for $40. Now, when I made her give the money back, she said, "But Daddy, isn't that what you taught me?" Now, how many of you think that your life would be much less stressed, much more productive if you were debt-free too? Absolutely. How many of you would want that for your children? I do too. There's nothing more important than family. Absolutely nothing. Now, our time together, I want you to understand millionaires, they think differently. Their brains have been programmed to function differently. And my job this morning is to help your brain start thinking more like a millionaire so you can make more powerful decisions. Who here remembers Eddie Murphy in Trading Places? Where you are today is the result of the decisions you made yesterday. If you keep making the same decisions, you'll keep getting the same results. Does that make sense? Yeah. See, once you realize how liberating it is to choose your own thoughts, the light bulb will turn on inside your head and you'll be able to program a new story that serves you rather than handicaps you. I know because I did that. You see, it's not that difficult to hypnotize people. The real challenge is bringing them out of the trance that they walk around in every day, telling them who they are and who they aren't, what they deserve to have and what they don't deserve to have, what kind of life is possible and what's impossible. I know because as a youth, I was hypnotized to believe that making money was difficult. I was hypnotized to believe that making wealth was for the rich. And I now realize none of that is true. In Landmark speak, it was all just a story. I know because, see, today we're going to talk about influence. It's everything. Marshall Silver taught there are truly only two things that you need to get everything you want. And they both have to do with influence. I want you to write this down. Communication equals wealth. Communication equals wealth. I'm going to teach you how to communicate this morning. I'm going to teach you how to take what's going on inside your brain and make it more effective. Be more powerful. And then I'm going to teach you to communicate that out to other people so that whatever it is that you're selling, they want. It could be a raise at work, or getting that guy dressed like a cowboy to ask you out, or simply getting your friends to see the movie that you've been waiting to see. I want you to write this down. Inner communication is called programming. Inner communication is called programming. It's the 1,500 words per minute that are whizzing through your brain right now, telling you who you are and who you aren't and what you can be and what you can have. Write this down. Outward communication is called influence. Outward communication is called influence. It's the ability to communicate with other people in such a way that they want to give you what you have. You see, influence is not getting somebody else to say yes. Influence is getting someone else to ask you for what you are selling. influence is getting someone else to ask you for what you're selling. How many of you like that concept? How many of you want to learn that badly? You know, Wesley, times are tough now. The company's been bleeding cash for years, and we're going through a reduction in force. Our personnel budget has been severely cut back. Now's not the time for new expenditures, but you're different. You've taken the time to outline all your contributions, and I recognize how valuable you are to this company, and I know how much you like it here. Frankly, we can't afford to lose you. It may only be 10%, but would you please accept this raise with my sincerest gratitude? How many think it's possible to communicate in such a way that they'll communicate to you in turn that way? Yes, you do get back what you give out. And since it is possible, how many would like to learn how to do it now? I want you to write this down. It's imperative to your success in any arena that you step into. As an entrepreneur, manager, laborer, or parent, write this down. Those that are afraid to buy are always afraid to sell. Those that are afraid to buy are always afraid to sell. See, the economy revolves around buying and selling. We're in a so-called recession now. I'm not in a recession. My business is better than ever. Lord knows the oil companies, they aren't in a recession. They're making more money than ever. Their profits are through the roof. I guess then, here's the question. Who's in a recession? It's the little guy. Are you the little guy? Not me. I don't want to be known as the little guy. My point is, there's a way for you to win this game that you've been playing, and it works. I mean, I'm not suggesting you should gouge people like I feel the oil companies are, or my daughter did to her friend. What I'm suggesting is you should figure out how to give people what they want and do it now. Dale Carnegie shared in How to Win Friends and Influence People. Personally, I'm fond of strawberries and cream, but I have found that for some strange reason, fish prefer worms. So when I went fishing, I didn't think about what I wanted. I thought about what they wanted. So I didn't bait the hook with strawberries and cream. Rather, I dangled a worm or a grasshopper in front of them and said, "Wouldn't you like to have that?" Why not use the same common sense when fishing for people? See, our leaders have could use some of that common sense. They tell us we're in financial peril to the decisions of past administrations. I mean, how many of you figured out that what causes a recession is a lack of cash flow? How many of you realize that? Once on the way to Vegas, my friend Jade and I stopped at the Barstow Factory Outlets, and she walked out of the Coach store sporting a new bag, and with this great big smile on her face, she exclaimed, "I'm helping out the economy!" Well, you guess what? She was. You want to help save this country now? You go out and buy. You betcha. You go out and buy. Go out and buy that bicycle that you've been dreaming about giving your family. Go out and buy the vacation you've been dreaming about taking your family on. Go out and buy that car that's been exciting you that you saw advertised last week on television. Go out and buy. Why? Because when cash is flowing, the economy is good, isn't it? How come people have such a hard time on a personal level understanding that? You want to make more money now. You've got to go out and create cash flow. How many of you out there realize that there's people that you talked to before you came to this program, and you told them, "Hey, I'm going to this conference," and they say, "Oh, you're going to another conference? Don't let them sell you anything." As if, frankly, your buying anything was bad for your economy, or frankly, even theirs. Understand, I'm on a mission now. I love my country. I fought for her in the Air Force, and I'm fighting for her now. My mission is to reestablish America as the land of opportunity, the land of prosperity, by opening people's minds, arming them with a new perspective and new tools. How many of you think that millionaires not only think differently, but act differently too? How many believe that? They do. See, for the sake of the discussion, I'd like to categorize people into the haves and the have-nots. I'd like permission to call the haves anyone who's earning $1 million per year joyfully. Are you guys okay with that definition? Who's okay with that definition? Now, it doesn't have to be passively. My income's not passive. I'm here actively, except I'm here joyfully. I'm doing what I want to do, not what I don't want to do. So how many actually kind of like that definition? A person earns $1 million or more a year joyfully every single year. Great. And for the sake of this discussion, I'd like to define the have-nots as a person that isn't earning $1 million joyfully. How many like that definition? Oh, I lost a few of you? I get it. And here's why I lost you. It's because you're not earning $1 million a year joyfully. Some of you may be thinking, Wesley, that's kind of rude of you to say that. Well, I get it, but you do want me to tell you the truth, don't you? And the truth is, I want you to get irritated. I want you to break free of your comfort zone. See, Tony Robbins, he emphasizes that the forces of pain and pleasure govern our motivations in our daily lives. Varying the amount of pain and pleasure cause us to move in one direction or the other at any given moment. He also teaches that most people are most likely to be driven by escaping pain than acquiring pleasure, although both are in play. Now, the good news is it's not that difficult to help you join the haves. The challenge, though, is you've been programmed since birth to be a have-not. And I'm going to get to that in a second. Now, you've been taught ever since you were little how to be a good have-not. Most of you have been taught how to be really good laborers. Hear me out here. See, even our schools and universities are designed to teach us how to be good employees. Those that labor earn the money for those that think. How many agree with that? That's almost certainly true. Yes, and really there's nothing wrong with it. The truth is you simply need to change your thoughts. I mean, with your parents, the first hypnotists you met, no, really, they were. You non-critically accepted what they told you to be true. And some of the stuff they told you was messed up. Even though they thought it was real, and they really did love you. I once found myself at a small gathering at the home of a friend of a friend. They were Samoan. His wife was about 5'5" and easily weighed 200 pounds. Her kindergarten-age daughter repeatedly kept running up to her and interrupting her. Exasperated, the mom finally yelled, "You fat, ugly girl! You're such a fat, ugly girl! Go back to your room! I don't want to see your fat, ugly face!" I was shocked. I mean, this little girl was simply trying to share her joy with the most important person in her life, and her innocent face instantly changed from happiness to despair. She was obviously crushed and hurt. She cried all the way back to her room. Inside, I was crying with her. How many of you believe that if you took a child from the time he was born until he was 8 years old and you spoke to a child that way, you would massively scar that child for life? How many believe that that child grows up to be fat and ugly? Yeah, it's a tragedy. You know, we had this fun presentation going on, and I shared a story that lasted a few seconds, and you could feel the whole tone in the room shift. You can feel the tension in that moment. And it wasn't even directed at you. It was toward a little girl that none of you know or could even see. And yet, everyone can still feel her pain. Can you imagine hearing that every single day for the first and formative years of your life? Could you imagine hearing that? How many, now, what if you took that same child from the time she was born until 8 and you repeatedly told her, Leslie, you are a gift from God. You are touching people's lives. You are changing this world. You are making this a better place. You are a genius. How many of you think that child now grows up differently? She does. See, when you program minds that way, they turn out vastly differently. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Hogwash. Words have power beyond imagination. I want you to write this down. Money is math. Money is math. What do I mean by that? Well, you buy something for $5,000 and it makes you $1 million. How many of you think that's a bargain? How many of you would want me to sell you something for $5,000 that makes you $1 million? How many would want me to? If your hand isn't right up right now, go ahead, leave. I mean it. I have nothing to teach you, and frankly, nobody can teach you because you just don't get it. Your brain is so locked into, I don't want to buy anything, I just want to make money. I get it. There's a lot of people like you, and the reality is they're part of the problem right now, not the solution. See, for some of you, it's starting to sink in. People get stuck in this mindset that it costs too much, therefore I can't afford it. See, millionaires, they say it costs this much, it makes me this much, well, let's go. Except it's a shift, isn't it? I mean, I get it, because I've been there. See, Abraham Lincoln said if you have 1 hour to chop down a tree with a dull axe, you spend 40 minutes sharpening that axe. See, you can chop down a tree with a dull axe. You can take that dull axe, you can whack it against the tree and whack it against the tree and whack it up against the tree. Eventually the tree will fall, but why would you want to? I mean, when you get done, your hands will be blistered and bloodied, and you'll be in a worse position than ever to chop down the next tree. I want you to journey with me. Tom Hopkins, he taught us how to get everything we want. It's an extremely simple method. It's not easy, but extremely simple. Write down these 12 words. I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. Now, doing this only requires 4 steps, but it's not simple. Doing the most productive thing means simply that. See, it doesn't mean look busy. It doesn't mean good enough. It doesn't mean getting by. It means doing the most productive thing no matter how distasteful, how hard, or how objectionable it may be. It may mean facing that unpleasant task. It may mean shooting for the top when you know that it's pretty scary. It may mean preparing when you need to prepare. It may mean doing what you need to do, and that's why it's not easy. It's sort of like keeping your New Year's resolution. You either do it now, or it doesn't get done. Here are the 4 steps required to do this. You must consistently do this over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. Number 1, tell yourself, I must do the most productive thing possible at every given moment. Number 2, decide what the most productive thing is. Number 3, do it now. And number 4, go back to step 1 and start over. Don't go crazy here. Sometimes the most productive thing is to sit down with your significant other and watch the sunset over the horizon. Sometimes it may mean taking a power nap or a vacation. But oftentimes the most productive thing you can do is also the last thing that you want to do. This is what separates the haves from the have-nots. The haves, see, they almost always do the most productive thing at any given moment. The have-nots, they almost never do. We live moment by moment, not year by year. Do the most productive thing at each moment, and your future's assured. Do it now. What's the most productive thing at this given moment? Well, you're the axe. Kevin Ogan, he's the pumice stone, and I'm the grinding wheel. See, I came here to make it easier for you to chop through your life's challenges. And as you begin to attend our seminars, some of you may not like me, and that's okay. I'm not here to get you to like me. I already have a set of awesome friends that I love, and they love me. I'm here to change your life. However, by the time we're done, I promise you, you will love me. 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, you will love me. You'll come up to me and say, thank you, Wesley. You helped change my life. You helped me find the girl of my dreams. You helped save my business. You helped me regain my health. That's why I'm here. I can't do it for you, but I absolutely can help you get everything you want. How many of you have invested substantial sums of money in other seminars? And how many of you have gone to seminars at different times and bought other books and tapes that and they're not using that information on that you already learned? Put them high. Yeah, I get it. I know you. I was one of you, and now I meet people like you all the time. How many of you think that it's possible for you personally, to become a millionaire? Okay, and how many of you think that there may be a million different ways to become a millionaire? And how many of you think that you probably already know, you probably already have the knowledge it takes to become a millionaire already inside of you? Yeah, put them high. Okay, I agree. See, if it is possible to become a millionaire, and there's a million ways to do it, and you already have the information it takes, then I guess the reason that you're not a millionaire is you. I mean, how many would agree with that? Yeah, I know it's painful, but when we come to that realization, we can say, it's me. Change me. Write this down. In order for you to change, you must change. In order for you to change, you must change. People ask me, Wesley, what makes your coaching different? Well, there are a few things. First, we're not a motivational company. We don't simply teach. We also program. We get right into your head and allow you to think differently. Suddenly, the things that you used to do that were comfortable, they're not so comfortable anymore. And even without thinking, you automatically begin doing the things that you know you should be doing and haven't been. Second are the results. Imagine if every interaction, online and in person, how would your life be different if people were desperately to say yes to you? This program is the culmination of years of selling synthesized with cutting-edge academic research, hardcore research into compliance getting, persuasion, and influence. You can't find a program like this designed for you anywhere else. How many of you believe that there are people that walk into a circumstance and know that they have great value to people? They are positive of what's going to happen. How many of you want that confidence in your life? I want it for you. I want to give that gift to you. See, I have a full-day program for you. It's called the Psychology of Persuasion. Investment of the course is only $2,500. Now, women especially believe and judge men based on their level of confidence. How many believe that if you were more confident, how many of you believe that if all this program did was make you 10 times more confident than you are right now, it would easily be worth a $2,500 investment? Put them high, put them way high. I want to see it. Because if you don't start grasping it now, you're always going to be a have-not. Go put them down. See, I know what it feels like to pray that the guy on the platform is looking out for you and wants you to have the life that you wanted to have, because I've been there. I've been to seminar after seminar after seminar. And why did I keep going to seminars? Because I knew there was something out there that I was missing. I was positive that it wasn't going to be found at work, because I was a hard worker and it wasn't working. See, I was obviously, I was waiting for a genius to appear on the platform, a man who was so obviously clear of mind. I would be positive that he could help me. He could help me get what I wanted. I was waiting for a man that everything that came out of his mouth would captivate me. Somebody who would tell me the truths that I needed to hear, that I needed to know. He wouldn't merely tell me he would tell me new information. He would confirm for me the information that I already knew. And as he would speak, I would instinctively realize that I needed to take new actions. I would realize that it was my old programs that were standing in my way. I would realize it was my own fears that were getting in my own way. And I knew I wanted to get the results now. Not in 5 years, not in 10 years, now. Whenever he spoke, I know I needed this, and whatever he was selling, I was buying. See, as I was mentioned earlier, I'm selling a seminar valued at $2,500. Now, I know for many of you, $2,500 that's a big chunk of change. It's simply out of the question. It may as well be $250,000. No matter how much you want this badly, you simply couldn't raise the funds right now. I get it. I was there. So for those of you that stand up right now and go back to that table right there, get yourself registered and do it now. I'll reduce the investment from $2,500 down to $1,495. Okay, hey, sir, what's your name? Chris, you're going back to the table to register for the Psychology of Persuasion, aren't you? No. You realize that the investment is $1,495? Yes? You're going to register? Chris, I have an extra gift for you. You see, there are some people, Chris, who they make their lives happen. And you did exactly what I would have done in your scenario. And because you had more faith than everybody else in this room, because you were the first one to stand up and take action now, I'm going to give you an additional gift of a $5,000 one-on-one session, private time with just me, just you and me together. All right, you're welcome. Make him feel good. Make him feel good. Now, I don't blame the rest of you for wanting to go back and register. I will make you a promise. When you go back there, it's way better than the $1,495 that I'm alluding to. It's way better. It's way better, and I'm going to give you a money-back guarantee. But the only way to find out is to get up and get yourself back there. Find out. There are thousands of dollars that we're giving away of free gifts back there. You want to sign up now and make sure you get your share. See, it's possible to create great wealth. It's possible, but it has to start up here with your programming. Our programs will potentially change your whole life, your whole world. See, graduates have told us, best thing I've ever done. Just using one concept of yours has saved a $250,000 contract I was working on. You've saved my marriage. You motivated me to dust off that old real estate training course I had, and it's actually working. Unfortunately, it won't happen for everyone. There's still people out there who just don't get it. Oh, yeah, I understand. I mean, it's not for me. Other people can have relations. Other people can make money, just not me. I want you to get this. It's not magic, except it does take effort. I mean, the challenge is, who here believes that you've been putting in a ton of effort into things that simply aren't paying off? How many believe that you're this close to a massive breakthrough? Put them up, put them high. Okay, you are. You're right there. I know you are. You're in the right place at the right time. I know because I've been there. I've been you. I know because I was fishing everywhere else too. I know because it wasn't until I came to a seminar like this that my life changed. See, I now need to point out something for you for legal purposes. Although others may have had great success, your results may vary. See, how many of you realize that there are some people out there that want something for nothing? I want you to write this down. You get what you put out. You get what you put out. See, computer programmers, they say garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. My pastor, Erwin McManus, he's made himself a nice following. He's authored about a dozen books on spirituality, and many of them have ended up on bestseller lists. Now, he's not in it for the money, so he's always given them out free to our church. His latest book was released just last month, and it's the first time that he's actually making us pay for his books. The result? There are now 256 documented book clubs meeting weekly to discuss his book. See, people aren't just reading it now, they're actually studying it. How many of you realize that if you find an amazing book that you know a friend will benefit from reading it and give it to them, it doesn't get read? How many of you understand that? Why? They need skin in the game. The more they pay, the more they value it. You don't put anything out, you don't get anything back in. So if you're one of the ones who wants to get something for nothing, I can't help you because it is hard work. I worked hard, only the thing is, it's not the hard work you've been thinking. And best of all, the results are worth the effort. See, first, I started with my inner game. I started with my programming because that's the part that really matters. If you don't take care of the inner game, nothing else matters. How many of you want the level of confidence, your level of confidence to increase tenfold right now? See, let's do this. I want to meet a couple people in the room that I've never met. Who in this room have I've never met? I've never said hello to, never shaken your hands. Who here? Okay, I see a few hands up. Oh, hi. And what's your name? Hi, my name's Wesley. What's your name? Oh, Julie? Oh, hi, Julie. Okay. Anybody else? Who haven't I met here? Ah, well, welcome. Welcome. My name is Wesley Chi, and yours is?
Kathy.
Okay. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Anybody else? Hi. I'm Wesley Chi, and you would be? Okay, great. Barney Five? Nice to meet you, Barney Five. How many of you noticed a distinction just now? Yeah, you bet you. I gave my first name to Kathy, and she gave me her first name back. I gave my first and last name to Barney Fife over here, and Barney Fife gave me his first and last name back. See, in communication, you get back what you send out. While communicating, many people are saying no to you because you're influencing them to say no. You don't want to have dinner with me, do you? If you want people to say yes to you, ask them questions that they want to say yes to. How many of you want to be millionaires? How many of you want to be programmed at the subconscious level, the actions you must take so you don't have to think about it so much? It just becomes natural. Go ahead, put them way high. Yeah. How many of you want to have their brains rewired to the point that you're able to get rid of all the programs that don't work and use the ones that do work? And you want it now. How many insist that this be the morning? Put them way high. If not, when? I say now. If not me, then who? Go ahead, drop your hands down. See, we live in a world of abundance, not scarcity. How many of you realize that? How many of you realize that it's possible that the universe has been trying to send you money, but you've been pushing it away? It's always been out there. It's been happening. See, when I first married my lovely bride, Lulu, we went to China to visit her family. We were at her aunt's house in Beijing. She's a very successful businesswoman. And as her aunt was running out the door, she threw a pack of $100 bills at us. 10,000 Chinese yuan to be exact. Now, due to my past programming, I told Lulu, oh, we can't accept this. I actually made her give it back. How many of you believe it's possible that opportunities have come your way and you haven't seized them? How many of you believe that you've come from a place of lack too often, where you thought you couldn't afford it, and it's time for you to stop doing that and to start living? Who thinks that the time is now? It does. It is. I mean, I'm about to offer you the opportunity to be with me at the Psychology of Persuasion. I'm going to put a money-back guarantee on it, so I assume all the risk. There's no risk to you. Are any of you interested in me sharing the offer? Okay, but first there are two things you still need to understand to get everything you want. First, you need self-mastery. You need to control this thing. You have to control your fears rather than let fears control you. Second, you need the proper tools. You need the proper tools. You need to grasp the simple fact. See, others have already figured out how to do it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You could. You could spend years and years doing it on your own, researching it, figuring it out, or you can simply take the knowledge that other people already have figured out, they already have, and save yourself all those years of effort, frustration, and research. And most importantly, get a head start on life. I want you to write this down. How do you create wealth? Give more value than you're asking for. Give more value than you're asking for. I want to be, I don't want to be your mentor at a seminar. I want to be your mentor for life. I want this morning to be the start of a relationship where you look back and say, that's where it started. That's where I met him. That's where we got connected. See, I'm selfish that way. I want to be that guy. There are two things that you need to get anything you want. Number one is self-mastery. Number two is the tools. And when you attend the Psychology of Persuasion, you're going to learn the tools that you need. And one of the tools that you absolutely need is subconscious reprogramming. You have to reprogram your subconscious mind. Who agrees that you have to do that you have to learn that? See, because if you don't reprogram your mind, your subconscious is going to get programmed anyway by the world. You just won't realize which programs those are and what they're doing to you. So the first thing we have to do is share with you is how to reprogram your subconscious mind. Now, all the people there that have already registered for the Psychology Influence, you have an unfair advantage over the people that have not. So I'm speaking to those of you right now that haven't. How many of you believe that's important for your mate to be on the same page as you? Yes, that a relationship that you're in parallel with each other, both partners are supportive of each other, that together you can do anything, versus a relationship in peril. It's hard to get anything done. Now it's the seminar. It's $14.95 for each of you. That's $3,000 for the couple. I want that for you now. And if all you did was come back and recharge your battery 9 times, spend 10 periods of your life with me, that would make a $60,000 value for the two of you. Now, here's the offer. I'm going to let you bring along your spouse, your significant other, a family member. Go ahead, bring them along for free. You can both experience this together for the price of one. Now, here's the offer. If you can't make the next seminar, go ahead, sign up now, and I'm going to let you re-attend for the next year for free. I'm going to let you both attend as many times as you like. In fact, not just for a year, but for your lifetimes. This includes all of you that have already signed up. Don't worry. Now, how many of you love that? You and your mate for a lifetime together. That's an infinite value. Now, here's the offer. All I ask is one thing. Let me change your life. If by the lunch of the first day of the program, if it doesn't exceed all your expectations, if it's not 10 times better than I said it was, I'll give you your money back. Every last penny. See, it's not about the money. It's about commitment. It's about how you want to live your life. I want to change your life. I want you to be evangelical about me. I want you to be a champion for me, telling all your friends about me and how I can help them. So here's what I want. I want you to go. I want your partner to go. If by the lunch of the first day it's not more than what I said it was, I'll give you all your money back, no questions asked. Fair enough? Okay. You see, hear me. I'm willing to take all the risks because I want your life to change. You hear that? I know you're going to love it. I know you're going to be coming back again and again for a lifetime. You're going to be telling all your friends, you, your friend, I, and America are all going to end up winning. And here's the best part of all. For both of you, you both come back for a lifetime as many times as you like. You come back 100 times. Lifetime reattendance for both of you. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to make this offer. Today only for both of you, $9.98. $9.98. I don't blame you for standing up. Now, how many of you would like everything I just gave away? Put them up. Now, in order for you to get the free product pack giveaways, you have to stand up now. You have to do it. Get on your feet. I didn't come here to not have you change your life. Stand up. Get to the back of that table. I'll be back there to meet you to answer your questions. Go ahead, get back there, get yourself registered. Now, when you come to the psychology of influence, you're going to be grateful that you did. I had an awesome time this morning with you. How many of you had an awesome, awesome morning? Put them up way up high and say, oh yeah. Go ahead, get back there, get registered. Thank you for coming here. Thank you for coming out to see me. I'm Wesley Chi. Let's do it now.